Very good insight. And now we have Dr. Varun Suthra from India. Your floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Honorable Congressman Robert Pittenger. So, honorable delegates, my greetings from India. And in India, we believe in a philosophy, one world, one family. We grew up with this, and we have a word for this in our language, Sanskrit, which calls Vasudev Kutumbakam. So why I am starting with this is, we believe if not even all, at least 50% of nations start believing in one world, one family, when we live like family, when we behave like family, most of the problems are solved. Because we don't harm family, we don't cheat family, there is no trust deficit in families. That's how we believe. For example, I congratulate Congressman Pittenger for creating this wonderful platform. And I'm here, I think, for the 6th time, of course, speaking for the first time, but I believe feeling like family. When I come here, a lot of similar faces, friends, and the forum, the purpose of the forum starts right from the dinner table, yesterday reception. So they start already discussing about the issues, and I was so glad that delegates from different nations on my table, they asked me about the recent conflict, and I appreciate their views. They wanted to know more about from me, even though if there is not a consensus, but that still there was not fighting. I felt like family. So now my previous colleagues, especially professor from the university, gave us a wonderful approach towards a good solution. We believe in this. We believe in ethical practices in India, and we called it dharma. So today I will also be focusing my presentation, my speech, basically towards a solution. In this past 4 days conflict with our neighbor, we saw what is hybrid warfare. We personally experienced. For example, myself, I was stuck in a region in the northern part of India, very close to border, and suddenly the shelling, the missiles, drones, everything started. Parallelly, our cyber police reported 1.5 million cyber attacks. So there we realized that war was not only fought on the border, but it also starts with misinformation, with cyber attacks, and because those days we all stuck to the news, different sources, televisions, then mainstream media. Now we have another challenge. We have social media and their channels, and they also have huge following, and that's where I perceived a big threat, because you cannot control this flow of information. You don't know where it is coming from. You don't know who blogger, what they are showing. And I personally watched that, because I was in that region, and somewhere in the world on a leading news channel, they were showing wrong location even of the city which they are talking about. The anchor in the news claimed this city is like 200 kilometers away from the border, but actually the city was just 20 kilometers away. So now, as myself an academician, thinker, and also doing little bit with the strategy, I came up with also an approach. I will not say exact solution, but what a country should do in this case, because to save, although individually, organizations, nation, we all are under a threat, but it is ultimately a nation's job, policy makers like you, lawmakers like you, who have to bring this into implementation. That's why I would share with you a very, very interesting text from 2300 years old. It is called Kautilya Arthashastra. This text was written 2300 years old by a man named Chanakya. It is still used as a reference text in our institutions where they deal with strategies. So because I could read Sanskrit, I could decode, so I was amazed that how exactly like 2003 years ago, Chanakya, a university professor, those days in India we had an ancient university called the Takshashila University. He was professor there, so he could envision these threats. Of course, that time there was no cyber warfare, there was no electricity also. But now, when I progress through my talk, I will share with you how diligently he came up with a text, and the name of the text is Kautilya's Arthashastra, and all the steps, all the approaches which he has given thousands of years ago are still relevant today. Because the remarkable thing is it's flawless, the sequence, then precise nature. So I was amazed to read this text. So I thought, when Honorable Congressman Pittinger is giving me a platform, what should I bring on the table? Because you know hybrid warfare, you know cyber threats, you know APTs. So what should I bring on the table? I think this is the best I can bring from my culture, my country, to share with you. So Chanakya had given a doctrine. First of all, I will bring you how he has mentioned this ancient playbook book of strategic defense. The number one thing which he mentioned was protection and administration. He has emphasized upon that the first duty of the state, national security, is paramount. Then he has given a lot of steps that what you have to do, and all of them are relevant today in terms of artificial intelligence or cyber security, because today like cyber security is the nervous system of national defense. So I am amazed he could envision the threat coming out from other hostile nations thousands of years ago and came up with this text which we could use today also. So he has given the steps that states' physical, economic and intellectual assets, how to protect them. What are the steps to be taken by the government? Doesn't matter which ideology, doesn't matter like today which party, but national security is paramount. So in today's, if I translate his doctorate in today's context, it is digital defense, firewalls, encryption, cyber laws, and secure government systems. Then number two, which is very important, he has written neutralizing the aggressor's mind. Unfortunately, I don't have time to explain this to you, but the way he has explained this, the one thing is very important to understand, never anywhere in his text he is encouraging to be an aggressor, to attack. Everything he is giving to safeguard your borders, safeguard your nations and other friendly nations. So now neutralizing, how to neutralize, in that he gives steps about psychological dominance. I think if we use this doctrine clubbed with cyber security in a positive way, we can strengthen our protective shields. Then he has Guddha Yuddha in Sanskrit, which means secret wars. He had highest network of spies. He was the master of espionage, but again, not to harm other country, only to protect ourselves. Then he has 4 strategies. I will read out fast because I know we are running out of time. Negotiations, incentives, punishments, and deceptions. He has intelligently implemented all those. He was not a king, but yes, advisor to the king. So with his advice, his strategies for a long duration in that period, which we called Gupta period, which was the name of the king, many generations could peacefully rule without conflicts. Now, modern challenges and ancient remedies. For example, now the threats are fake news, deep fakes, and manipulated narratives. And his response was control of narrative and counter propaganda. I'm amazed this counter propaganda and this narrative is still relevant. If we try to execute this in today's world, it is equally relevant, and it has impact. As my colleague from speaking previous to me said, so the same doctrines he has given in his books. Then modern threat, for example, insider threats. He said threat is not always coming from outside. Threat is also from inside. For there also nations have to be alert, agencies have to be alert. So for example, employees leaking data or sabotage, then he has given solutions how to do background checks, how to have internal espionage also to save your nation from any warlike situation or any other threats. Then he had, for example, to counter state-sponsored heckling, then he has very good ideas about counter-espionage, deceptions, which is described in the chapters later. Then most important thing which we all deal with is lack of public awareness. You as parliamentarians representing your constituencies, you always have this challenge. No matter what you do, you always face this challenge to make people aware of what is true, what is right for them. So there, like he has these modules of education and how to do this moral conditioning. So now, concluding my point, so I would say the battlegrounds may have shifted from field to the firewall, but the wisdom of our ancient ancestors, for example from India or other cultures, it should not be underestimated. It is ever relevant, and by integrating this ancient strategic DNA with modern digital defense, we can definitely get a better approach towards solution. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Suthra. We're a good bit behind.